Okay, we start up, right? Hello. Yeah, shall we start up? Okay. Then we'll try to see like little bit introduction about automation testing. Okay. So before going automation testing, we'll come across like manual testing. So what do you mean by manual testing, and which all are the different things you will come across? Okay, so manual testing, if you'll be into like that is process oriented, process related. So like you'll come across the basics of manual testing, and what exactly you will try to follow. Simply I have to say means like analyzing the requirements, creating the test cases, executing the test cases, analyze and reporting the bugs, tracking the bugs. And so these are the different steps you will be performing if you will be into manual testing. Okay, so so that is nothing but like manual testing. So simply I have to say means like executing the test cases again and again. Okay, so we go we'll try to see like different topics like what is manual testing, what is automation testing, introduction to automation testing, advantages of automation testing, disadvantages, then factors to be considered to go for automation. So these are the different things we'll try to see. Okay, so manual testing. So analyzing the requirement, test case creation, regression testing, execution. So test case execution normally you can consider as regression testing, then retesting, then reporting bugs and tracking. Okay, so these are the major roles you will be performing if you went to manual testing. So but mostly 80% of your job will be into regression testing. Okay, so what do you mean by regression testing? So for that one, just a second, let me open one more PPT. So testing terminology. Okay, so regression testing, how you can define it as very high level I will explain. Even though you are into automation, I have to go for automation means directly I cannot go, right? So I'm a little bit brief I'm discussing. So regression testing. So before that, whatever the application you are working, for that application you'll try to come up with like two types of releases, like major release and minor release. Okay, so major release is nothing but like every 3 months, minor release is nothing but every 1 month. Okay, so you are getting release means what does it mean? So whatever the bugs you were reported, whether they could have fixed those bugs or any change request they got from client. Change request means either existing functionality change or enhancement. In either of these cases, developers try to update their code with the existing build and make it as a new release to test up for testing purpose. Okay, so new build you are getting means either of these cases you will get new build. So once you get build, what you have to do is like whether developers fixed bugs properly or not, means they fixed bugs properly. And one more point, if it is in the case of like new change requests, at the time they were made enhancements properly or not. Simply have to say means developer changed code properly or not. Okay, so developers changed code properly or not, simply I can say like first point. Okay, so developers come up with code properly or not, and you got fever, you go to doctor, he gave you some medicines, fever came down, but side effects you are getting like body pains or something like that. Okay, so it should not happen like that, right? So whenever developer is going to change, means either fixing the bugs or change request, what he is doing, he is changing the existing code. So during changing the code, the bug fixed properly, but the changed code may impact other functionality which was working fine earlier, right? But it should not happen. Even that one also you have to make sure. Okay, so the changed code should not affect other functionality which one working fine earlier. So to make sure these 2 points, you will pick up the test cases related to bug fixed areas. This is important. For your Gmail, you take like 10,000 test cases you are having. Okay, so login, forgot password, registration, compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail, like that. So many modules you will come across. Let us assume login related bug they were fixed. You were unable to log in with your correct credentials. That is the issue you were reported to developer. They were unable to fix. They were fixed that bug and released it to you for testing. Here, bug fixed areas related test cases you have to pick up. Means here, if you pick up test cases related to login and execute, that is fine. Okay, why? The change of code is impacting, means it may impact login related functionality. It never impact like compose mail or inbox or outbox or logout functionality related test case. It doesn't impact, right? So its impact means it may impact login related functionality. So you will pick up the test cases related to bug fixed areas and execute against latest release. So that is nothing but like regression testing. Okay, so that is nothing but like regression testing. So you will be into manual testing, means you will be always executing the testing again and again. Simply, very simply, I have to define regression testing means executing the test cases again and again is nothing but like regression testing. But why you are executing again and again? So this is the reason. Okay, so that point of time you can go for like regression testing. So okay, so these are the different steps we will be coming across. So this is different roles you will be performing if you will be into manual testing. Then disadvantage of manual testing is like if you will be into manual testing, you will be performing regression testing again and again. So how many test cases you can execute per day? It depends on the complexity of the test cases. If it is simple test cases, you can execute 10, around 10. If those are complex test cases, per day you may execute even 1 also. You may come across that kind of situation. Okay, or 3 or 4 or 5 test cases you can execute. Okay, but for your application, I am saying like 10,000 test cases. So those 10,000 test cases you have to execute means how much time it will take? It will be like too much time consuming, right? Meanwhile, if you will be into manual testing, you will be again and again executing same test cases again and again, right? So you are working for this project for 3 years, let us suppose. That means per year, how many releases you will come across? 4 major releases, 12 minor releases. That means 60. And meanwhile, within a release, you may get sub releases sometimes. That means per year you are executed more than 20 times. That means actually the thing is, if you will be into manual testing, for your application you are having 10,000 test cases and 20 people were there. So you will try to share all those test cases independently, like 500 test cases per head you will come across, right? 10,000 test cases and 20 people means per head 500 test cases. So whenever you get release, what are the test cases got assigned for you, those test cases you will be executing. Okay, so that is nothing but like regression testing. Okay, so that is what will be executed. So that means those 500 test cases per year you were executed more than 20 times. We were human beings. Okay, so whenever we are doing the same task again and again, we may lose interest, we may lose concentration, and we may do commonly mistakes. Okay, so that is a major drawback of like your manual testing. No accuracy, and sometimes you may get a chance to work hard. Okay, so extra hours also you may get a chance to work hard, right? So at that point of time, this is very difficult. So this is the drawback of like your manual testing. Okay, that point of time you may do commonly erroneous results. Okay, and I said like time consuming. Per day you can execute 5 or 6 test cases. So 10,000 test cases you have to execute means how much time it will require? It will be like too much time consuming, right? So accordingly you need more number of resources, right? More number of resources, you will get a chance to go. Okay, so very difficult to test like object properties. Like here this ppt you are seeing like some image, some flowers or some leaves or something like that is there, right? That leaves you have to validate. So with your eyes you have to validate exact brightness. Is it possible to validate? You cannot. Okay, so that is nothing but like object properties or images or bitmaps you have to validate means with the help of manual testing, human beings you cannot validate. Okay, so performance testing or load testing or stress testing. Performance testing is nothing but like there are 4 types of applications you will come across. Normally that one you are aware of, that is better. You are not aware of means I will just try to cover. Okay, very high level I will come up here. So types of applications. Normally there are 4 types of applications you will come across. Those are nothing but like 1 tier application, 2 tier application, 3 tier application and n tier applications. Okay, so 1 tier applications are nothing but like only 1 layer you will be having. Okay, front end, that means UI. Front end, only front end you will be having, that is nothing but like UI. Okay, so UI you have to develop means what is the concept they come up with? They should use some programming language. They should use some programming language, right? So whatever the applications you are having, only UI, that means like front end, those type of applications you can consider as 1 tier applications. Okay, so all of your standalone applications, that means in your computer which are the applications installed, those applications you can consider as 1 tier application like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, calculator. Okay, so these all are nothing but like 1 tier applications. Okay, but if you go for like Gmail, Gmail is not good example for 2 tier application, but I am taking example only the thing is like for understanding. So while registering you will enter first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, something like that, some fields you will fill up and click on submit button, right? Once you click on submit button, all this data where it will get stored? In backend database, right? Backend database. Okay, so any of the applications having 2 layers like front end UI, backend database, those type of applications you can consider as 2 tier applications. Okay, the examples for 2 tier applications are nothing but like all intranet applications. That means which are the applications you are able to access within your organization. Some applications you cannot access outside of the organization. Those applications you can consider as intranet application. So 2 tier intranet applications are examples for like 2 tier applications. 2 tier applications also you can consider as client server applications. Client is nothing but like front end, server is nothing but like back end. Back end is nothing but like database. Okay, so these are nothing but like 2 tier applications. Then in between those two, if you come across like web server, so those type of applications you can consider as web based applications. Okay, also you can consider as 3 tier applications. All of your browser based applications, internet applications you can consider as 3 tier applications. Okay, so in middle you will come across one more server, that is nothing but like a web server. So examples for web server are nothing but like Tomcat, WebLogic, JBoss, ISS, like that, so many you will come across. Okay, so web servers, just for awareness purpose I am saying, but this is not that much important. If you remember, that is better. Okay, so the purpose of web server is nothing but a computer program or a program that is running in a computer that is responsible for accepting HTTP requests from server and whatever the requests it is accepting. Okay, server have to send back reply to those requests, right? So that is what the web server's responsibility. So that is nothing but a program that is responsible for accepting HTTP requests from client or serving back those HTTP requests from your client. Okay, client is nothing but like your computer. From your computer, whenever you click on you correct username, correct password, click on sign in button. You should connect to web server, right? You should connect. It will establish a connection to web server. It will try to validate like username is and password is available or not. Okay. So it's a sending request, right? In the form of request only, it will perform each and everything. Okay. So request is sending to server. Those requests will be processing in server, and that server send back responses to those requests. That is what your web server responsibility. Okay. So IIS, Apache are examples for like web server. Okay. Application server. So application server exposes business logic to client applications through various protocols. Means like best example I will say, you are entering correct username, correct password, click on sign in button. Once you click on sign in button, you will navigate to home page. In your inbox page, which all are mails applicable for you, only those emails it will get displayed, right? Others emails it won't get displayed. That kind of logic who will take care? That one application server will take care. Okay. So secure data, it has to prevent like secure data only have to display, right? Non-secure data it should not display. Okay. So that portion application server will take care. So those are nothing but like Tomcat, JBoss, those are WebLogic. So these are nothing but like examples for application servers. Okay. So these are the 3 types of applications, 4 types of, these are like web based application. Let us assume for whole world Gmail they are managing one server. Tomorrow some problem occurred in US. They have to trace and they have to find out and they have to resolve, means it will be very difficult, right? So instead of managing one server across globe, what they can do is they can split into multiple major countries. Like for US one server, for India one server, for China one server, for Japan one server. If they split like that, tomorrow some problem occurred in India, they can trace very easily and rectify, right? So that means the web server or application server, what they are doing is they are dividing into multiple servers, depends on the location. Those are nothing but like entire applications. Okay. So very high level if you go, there are 2 types of applications, client server application and web based application. In detail if you go, there are 4 types of applications, 1 type, 2 type, 3 type, n type. These are the 3 types of applications you will come across. Okay. Okay, very good interview question and very powerful concept. How differently you will test web based application when compared to client server application. If it is client server application, you will go for like initially you will go for testing, usability testing, then functionality testing you will go for. Okay, you don't want to go for like security testing and performance testing. Okay. Yeah, for client server application. Why? Means those applications are going to use within an organization, right? Okay. So that's why it's not mandatory to go for like security testing and performance testing. But if it is like performance test, like web based applications, first you will go for like security testing, then you can go for like usability testing, then functionality testing. Once your application gets stable, okay, so then finally you can go for performance testing. Okay. So if it is web based application, all these 4 different types of testing you will try to perform. So this is what very important stuff you have to remember. But here within an organization you are accessing some applications. I am saying like for those type of applications you don't want to go for like security testing and performance testing. Even those applications, so many people at a time may be accessing, right? So even you want to do security testing and performance testing, means you can do, but remember that is not mandatory. Okay. So client server application, we were said like internet applications. So internet applications, IBM, if you take, more than 4 lakh people were there. Even those people may be accessing, right? So that is also comes into performance testing. So even, but that is internal to company, right? So security doesn't play that much major role. So if you want to do performance testing for those applications, absolutely you can do, no issues. Okay. So but it is not mandatory. So these are the different ways you have to remember while going for like okay. So then what is performance testing? Okay. So I will go for like performance testing little bit. So for web based applications you will go for like performance testing. Performance testing, how you can define it as like multiple people at a time accessing, right? So how your application is behaving, how your application performance is, that is what you will try to validate. So that is nothing but like performance testing. So executing the application under predetermined levels of resources to estimate performance is nothing but like performance testing. Executing the application under predetermined levels of resources. Predetermined levels of resources is nothing but like you are purchasing some computer. Okay, that computer should be having some configuration, right? Like what is the RAM, what is the hard disk, what is the processor, something like that. Exactly. Web based applications you are accessing means one web server they will be using. So what is the configuration of that web server? That is nothing but like under predetermined levels of resources. So this configuration, how many resources able to access? So if you increase little bit more configuration, so how many more people able to access, like that under predetermined levels of resources to estimate performance in nothing but like performance testing. Performance testing again divided into two categories, that is nothing but like load testing and stress testing. Okay. So whatever the application you are working, for that application client expected load is like 10,000 users. If your application is working fine for 10,000 users, okay, 10,000 users able to access properly without having any issues, that kind of testing you can consider as load testing. Okay, that kind of testing you can consider as load testing. Okay. So load testing, how you can define it as like executing the application under predetermined levels of resources and customer expected load. Predetermined levels of resources and customer expected load, that is nothing but like load testing. Okay. So customer expected load is 10,000 users. If your application is working fine for 10,000 users, that is nothing but like load testing. But some applications, if you take like greetings applications, 1 2 3 greetings, like that, so many greetings applications were there, right? So during normal season very less people try to access, but during festival season if you go like December and January across globe, so many festivals you will come across in December and January only, right? So at that time almost all people try to access. At that point of time even client himself cannot expect how many more number of people going to access. Okay. So at that point of time his application how much extra stress can handle, that is what you will try to find out. That means like your application expected load is 10,000 users, but you cannot expect always 10,000 users, that kind of situation. So user count may get exceed, so you will try to keep increment like 100 users. If you increment, how your application is behaving, 200 users, how your application is behaving, increase 300 400 500 2000 you are incremented, that means like 12,000 users. So your application server is crashing at 12,000 users. That means the existing server can handle maximum 12,000 users. So if his application needs to be access more number of people, means he needs to increase his server configuration. So that is the purpose of stress testing. So the purpose of stress testing is what is the maximum peak load, what is the peak stress your application can sustain. If he find out, he can plan accordingly. Okay. So that is the purpose of stress testing. Okay. So uh, so this performance testing or load testing you have to do with the help of manual testing, means is little bit difficult to perform. Okay, so sorry, so this is nothing but like performance testing. Volume testing also. What is volume testing? You can attach files to your email, right? So that is nothing but like volume testing. Okay, so you cannot attach executable files. Okay, maximum size you can attach for Gmail is like 25 MB. You cannot attach more than 25 MB. Okay, so all these different kind of stuff you have to do, means like you can go for like volume testing. Okay, and one more point, you have taken broadband connection 1 Mbps plan, whether you are getting 1 Mbps speed or not, you have to find out. So how you can test? With the help of volume test. That is nothing but like comes under volume testing. Okay, so that is nothing but like volume testing. So with the help of manual testing you have to perform is the speed. What is the speed you are getting? Will you be able to test with the help of human being? You cannot, right? So these are the disadvantages of your manual testing. Okay, so to overcome these disadvantages of manual testing, automation comes into picture. Okay, sorry, to overcome these drawbacks of manual testing, automation comes into picture. Okay, then we can go for like what are the advantages of automation testing. So that is nothing but like unattended execution. Unattended execution before going. So what do you mean by attended execution? What do you mean by attended execution? Means your manual testing, you will be sitting in front of the computer and you will be taking your test cases, you will be going through those test cases, and whatever the actions your test case is telling, those actions you will be performing in your application and you will be testing. Okay, so that is nothing but like attended execution. Very simply I have to say means that is your manual testing is attended execution. Okay, so but unattended execution means you are coming up with very good framework, means you don't touch your execution. What you will do is, okay, what you can do is you just before that, how you will get releases? How you will get releases? There are two types of releases, right? So what are those two types of releases? Major release and minor release. Okay, so major release means every 3 months, minor release means every 1 month. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so developers, what they'll be doing? So daily whatever the changes they're coming up with in their code. Okay, normally if it is like projects, you are maybe aware of like what is the difference between project and product, right? Okay, so what is project? So client will come to you according to his requirements, you will develop and give it back to them. So that is nothing but like project. Like Vodafone or Airtel or Aircel. Okay, they will come to you, they will give what exactly their requirements. According to their requirements, you will develop your application and give it back to them. So that is nothing but like project. Then what is product? To meet market requirements, companies will be coming up with solutions, right? So that is nothing but like product. Like mobile phones, that is market requirement, right? Mobile phones is market requirement, and computers market requirement. Okay, so you are purchasing computer. Without operating system, will you be able to do anything? You cannot do anything, right, without operating system. So operating system also market requirement. Okay, operating system also market requirement. Okay, okay, so like that, you have movie, you have to watch movie. So movie player require, right? So these all are nothing but like your, what do you say, these all are comes under like products. Okay, so to meet market requirements, companies will be coming up with solutions. Okay, companies will be coming up with solutions. Those are nothing but like products. Okay, so there are if it is either project, means you will come across releases like major release and minor release. If it is project, so how you can come up with product, sorry, if it is product, daily, I mean to say like project, if you go for, before starting any of the project, what they will do is they will come up with like plan, means like how many releases they have to come up with for each and every release, which are the features they are going to develop. That means like release 100, like see, for each and every release what they can do is they can make name like SIT or MIT or Augusta or Spectrum or something like that. The naming conventions, whatever they feel comfortable, they can give it up. Okay, they can give it up. Okay, so like that, I'm naming here like just release 100, release 200, release 300. Okay, you can consider like SIT 100, SIT 200, SIT 300. Okay, so if it is SIT 200, when it will start, when it will finish, so January 1st it will start, January end it will finish. So which are the features they are going to develop, like login, forgot password. Then SIT 200, so it will start February 1st, it will end February end. Then they are going to develop like registration. Then SIT 300, compose mail they will try to implement. It will start March 1st, it will end March end. Okay, then you can like that they will come up with plan. Accordingly they will be coming up with their development activities. Okay, at the end of the release they will make it as a set of file and send it to testing team for testing purpose. That is for projects. But for products, what will happen is daily they will be making some changes, right? Daily they'll making some changes in their code. So they will be setting up like each and everything automated, like some scripts will be there. At the end of the day, whatever the changes they made, it will create automatically the setup file. Okay, and store it to somewhere like which that day folder. If you go for like any of the application, there may be so many environments, right? Like SIT, MIT, these are two environments. Another way you can say like manual testing environment, automation testing environment, production environment, development environment, functional testing environment. Like that, so many environments will be there. As soon as you get released, you have to execute, you have to perform your testing in all of these different environments, whatever available for your application. Okay, so so if it is product, if you take, they'll make a change, they change the code, and they don't do manually like generating your bulls. Okay, automated scripts will be there, they will generate bull, okay, or release. That means like say making setup file. Okay, if it is development environment, development with that day date, May, like May 31st. Sorry, this is June 1st, right? May, June 1st, 2012, something like that. Some folder it will create, and there they will place it up. That one daily it will be happening. If it is for product, these days most of the people coming up with this is the kind of automation type of framework. Okay, so daily developers will change code at the end of the day, like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So those automated scripts automatically generate set of files. As soon as your automation framework sees that folder, okay, as soon as your automation framework looks for that folder, that means with that def folder, automation execution automatically fires. Automation execution automatically gets initiate. Okay, as soon as you get build, what you have to do, you have to install manually, right? But here in your automation framework itself initiates execution and installs whole of your application. Once installation done, necessary configurations needs to be done, right? So even automation framework automatically take care those configurations. Then once you install build, which type of testing you have to go for? Smoke testing or sanity testing. That means like major functionality test cases you have to execute, right? So your automation framework goes for executing smoke test cases, then sanity test cases, then regression test case. Okay, and you can manage whole of your automation framework in quality center itself. So you are managing quality center means one tab you will come across like test lab. In test lab, if you will be into manual testing, what you will do is you will try to create test sets manually like smoke test cases, sanity test cases, user interface test cases, functionality test cases, smoke test cases, like that. Different environments also, right? Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, like that. How many environments you have to execute? So environment specific test cases also needs to be executed, right? Even those one also you can create test sets. Okay, but you are using automation for that project means your automation framework automatically creates different test sets in your quality center, and once you create test set, it has to map the test cases to that test set, right? So smoke test cases you have to add it to smoke test set. Okay, sanity test cases you have to add it to sanity test set. Okay, so regression test cases you have to add it to regression test set. Your automation framework automatically configures all these test sets in your test lab, then it will execute. While executing, it will generate two types of reports. Like meanwhile, while executing any of the automation tool, it will create like bulletin reports. Even in QTP also you have seen, right? So like the bulletin reports it will create, but those one clients cannot understand or normally framework you are implementing means what you will do is you will, as a automation engineer, you will develop a framework and give it to manual tester. He will be taking care. So manual tester means he is not good in automation, right? So that's why okay, so those results he may not understand. That's why what you will do is you can come up with your results like customized way of results, like in the form of like Excel files or text files or INI files or something like that. Okay, so how you can come up is like I will show you, just a second. Okay, so so this is the framework I come up with for some another batch. Okay, so you see framework looks like this. So I was talking about like unattended execution, right? So one master driver will be there, master driver. So for this one, this driver drives whole of your framework. This driver drives whole of your framework. What exactly this one will do is okay, as soon as this one, for this one you can make like a scheduler, you can create scheduler. So that means daily what time it will get executed, you can make scheduler. Okay, so here you are coming up with like night execution.xls, one Excel file you are creating here. So which are the test cases you want to create execute? So all those test cases you will map, you will give it a so and execution. So this is nothing but like test case ID. What is the test case ID? Test script along with path. So these test scripts where you were stored in your shared drive or computer or quality center. Okay, then execution flag. Sometimes you may get a chance to execute all the scripts, but sometimes you don't want to execute you want to execute only specific scripts. So at that point of time, you can control that execution with the help of execution flag. So which are the skips like that 1000 skips, you want to execute means 1000 skips, you can give it up like this one by one. Okay, so 1000 skip. So only specific script you want to execute means you can give it up like yes, y flag you can pass. So when what are the test scripts you are passing y, it will get execute only those test cases and result whether it's passed or failed or something like that, it will come up with. Okay, so results. Okay, then result and meanwhile execution time, how much time is taking for executing the specific test, what is the time. Okay, that time it will get log here, and comments, any comments you want to log, you can log it up. Okay, so before executing, you will try to fill up like which are the test case you want to execute and execution flag. Then you can go for like master driver. This is the master driver I come up with for executing all these test cases. So what this is nothing but like your VB script. This is nothing but like your VB script. So you are making it up like scheduler, right? So daily 11 p.m. or something like that, you will make scheduler. It will automatically fetch execution. So it will pick up automatically fetch execution. So it will installation requirements, it will try to install whole of your application. Then it will configure your I mean to say like once your installation done, configuration needs to be done, right? So once configuration done, it will go for like executing smoke test cases, then sanity test cases, then regression testing. While once execution done, okay, so you will be creating like I told, right? So summary kind of report and detail kind of report, it will get generated. Okay, that means like QTP, if you are executing in QTP, QTP will give you like its own results. Okay, it looks like these are the results. Okay, so these results manual tester, others or client people may not understand that much clearly. So that's why it's not advisable to go for like these kind of results. So what you can do is you can come up with results in such a manner. See, the results, customized results, you can come up in the form of like text to files or XML files or XLS files or HTML files. So whatever the way you feel comfortable, you can come up with. Okay, so here if you go for like test shoot result, so just a second. Okay, so this is nothing but like your in detail kind of report. You are executing test case 1. Okay, so test case 1 is nothing but like Salesforce application navigation. Okay, so Salesforce application login page, home page navigated successfully as expected. Then you have to enter correct username, correct password, right? So username enter successfully as expected, password not entered successfully as expected. Like that, even while executing your QTP built-in results also, it will show you like this. Okay, step by step, but that one you may not understand, but people come up with this is the kind of approach. Okay, so and summary kind of, this is nothing but like in detail. So test case 1.xls, test case 2 is executing, test case 2 also it will try to come up with like this, test case 3 you are executing, so test case 3 also try to come up with like this, test case 4.xls, test case 5.xls. So those are nothing but like summary kind of report. In detail kind of report, in detail kind of report means here you will that is in detail, so test case 1.xls, test case 2.xls, test case 3.xls, those are nothing but like in detail kind of report, summary kind of report. So this is nothing but like summary kind of report, right? So how many test cases you put for execution, how many test cases got passed, how many test cases got failed, this is nothing but like your summary kind of report. Okay, so you want to see like how many test cases got put for execution, how many test cases got passed, how many test cases got failed, that one from this summary kind of report you will get in detail kind of report. Specific step, specific test case got failed, at exactly which step it got failed, you have to find out, means you can go for like in detail kind of report. This one QTP doesn't do anything. For this one, you have to come up with functions, your own VB script functions. Your own VB script functions. Meanwhile, input also you have to pass it up, right? The main advantage of automation is like, okay, before going that one, so this kind of in detail and summary kind of reports you can generate with the help of XLS files or text files or INF files. That means like whatever the way you feel comfortable, you can go for. Okay, so here I have shown you like XML, but HTML way also you can show. HTML also you can come up with, XML also you can come up with, INF files also you can come up with, text files also you can come up with. Okay, see here like this. So how many test cases you put for execution? So test case ID, what the test script name, what is the status, whether it's pass or fail, and what is the start time, what is the end time. Even if you want to come up with comments, you can come up with one more column like comments. Okay, so like this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like this you can come up with. This is nothing but like summary kind of report. From here you will get to know how many scripts put for execution, how many scripts got passed, how many scripts got failed, and okay, which environment also. Your automation main purpose is needs to be executed in multiple environments and multiple releases. Multiple environments are nothing but like production environment, automation testing, production environment, manual testing environment, automation testing environment, SIT, MIT, performance testing, development environment. Like that, so many environments are there, right? So which environment is getting executed? That one you will get display here. Okay, and let us suppose 101 test case got failed. At exactly which step it got failed, you want to find out means once you click on that link. Okay, so it's having some problem. So the thing is like I mean to say like the URL got changed. Okay, this framework I have implemented in some another computer. Okay, so that's why once I click on okay, specific test case ID, it will navigate to this page. Okay, so what is test case? Detailed test execution. So setting the username, setting password, click on sign in button, home page navigation. So where it got failed? So this step it got failed. Okay, so these HTML kind of results are XLS kind of results. How you can come up with? QTP doesn't provide anything. It's just a UI. That QTP you can control. QTP whole tool you can control. It's in your hand. However you want use that tool, you can use it up. Okay, so that one for coming up with this summary kind of report and in detail kind of report. Okay, so you have to come up with functions. You have to come up with functions. Okay, so here whatever the framework I come up with, this is nothing but like hybrid framework. This is nothing but like hybrid framework. So for coming up with like summary kind of report and in detail kind of report, I said like functions you have to come up, right? So these are the functions I put in function library folder. Okay, so these are the functions I come up with like for summary kind of report, in detail kind of report, and meanwhile you have to read data as well, right? So which environment you have to execute that data, how you will pass? Through environment. So here you can come up with like environment.xml. So there before executing, so if you want to execute in development environment, so development parameters you have to pass it up. If you want to execute in production environment, so production parameters you can pass it up. So that one in environment will come up with. So before executing, so data also you have to pass it up, right? Okay, so test to data you have to pass. If it is production environment, so production URLs you have to pass it up. Production parameters you have to pass. Your credentials doesn't work in production environment. Your credentials work in manual automation testing environment if you will be into automation testing. Okay, so the test to data you will try to pass in this manner. Your test data you will pass in the form of like test to data inputs.xls. This inputs.xls you can store in your framework like inputs.folder. Okay, test inputs you are having, right? Test inputs you will store here. There you are passing data like this. Okay, input data you will pass it up. So for reading data from XLS, again you have to come up with your Excel functions. All those functions I put it up here in framework supported functions, simply I have to say means, okay, all framework supported functions I put under functions folder, function library. Okay, so like this, once you come up with okay, so your automation automatically executes first initiation execution. Okay, so as soon as initiation done, it has to install whole of your application. Once installs application, it needs to be do like configurations. Once configuration done, it will go for execute smoke test cases, then sanity test cases, then regression test cases, regression testing. While executing, it will try to generate two types of report, summary kind of report and in detail kind of report. Once execution done, it will send an email, okay, like you put for night execution, so these many test cases put for execution, these many test cases got failed, these many test cases got passed, like that summary kind of report it will generate and send it to your mailbox. That mail it will send all of your team members, all of your project members. Okay, this is the real meaning of like your unattended execution. You don't touch anything manually. Okay, so normally you are going for unattended execution means this kind of framework you have to come up means what companies will do is they will dedicate some machines for this automation execution. Okay, it's not like it doesn't look like your computers like desktops or laptops. So companies what they will do is they will purchase like ESX servers. Some servers will be there. Those ones you can call it as like ESX servers. With the help of that server, what they can do is they can create multiple computers. Okay, so those one normally you can call it as like virtual machines. Virtual machine you don't see visually. Okay, but those machines how you can connect is with the help of remote desktop or VMware also you can connect. VMware also you can connect. Okay, so 4 or 5 machines you will dedicate for automation execution. Okay, so 24 hours in those machines your automation scripts will be executing, and once execution done, it will be sending your automation framework will be sending emails to your mailbox like summary kind of and in detail kind of reports. That is the kind of framework you can come up with with the help of QTP. So that is nothing but like unattended execution. Most of the clients, most of the people these days coming up with this kind of framework. Okay, so this is nothing but like unattended execution. Sorry, night execution or batch execution. Remember, unattended execution mostly for products. Okay, why can't go for projects? If you want to go for projects, absolutely no issues, you can go for, but there are some factors you will get to know those things later. Okay, as of now you can remember this is the stuff. Okay. Okay, so why means for projects if you go for, you'll be getting frequent change requests from clients. Today whatever the application you take, most of the projects having doesn't have stable features, right? Okay, frequently getting changed. So that's why it's not advisable to go for like projects unattended execution kind of stuff. Okay, so if it is project, for products you don't get frequent change requests. Okay, in case if you get, very rarely you will come across. Okay, so batch execution means it will go for, that is also like unattended execution, but night while going home you put for execution, tomorrow morning you will come and you will be able to see the results. Okay, so that is nothing but like night execution or batch execution. Okay, then automation execution will be always fast, right? Okay, automation execution always fast, reliable, that is machine. How many times you will execute, how much time is executing. Okay, so just give me a second. Okay, so that is machine, computer is machine, right? Okay, so computer is machine. So how many times you execute, how much time you will execute, 24 hours also, 24/7 also is executing means is performing some operation means it will give you like 100% perfect results. Okay, so that is nothing but like reliable accurate results it will provide, repeatable or reusable. This is very important. Okay, so repeatable is nothing but like in any of the programming language, which all are the repeatable steps you are having, for that one you can come up with one function. That function you can reuse wherever you want, right? So that is nothing but like repeatable or reusability. Okay, so but in automation also, once you come up with your automation script, once you generate, you are reusing them, right? So those scripts you are using for executing in multiple environments like SIT environment, MIT environment, production environment, development environment, manual testing environment, automation testing environment, multiple environments and multiple releases like SIT 100, SIT 200, SIT 300, MIT 100, MIT 200, MIT 300, like that multiple releases you are executing. That means it is reusability, right? This is one way. Another way, let us suppose you are having 10,000 test cases for your Gmail application. You are having 10,000 test cases for your Gmail application. Okay, so automation development is not that much easy. Okay, so you have to come up with your script, means that one you have to make sure it should get executed in all the environments, in all situations it will get executed. Like that you have to make, means it will be like too much time consuming. Okay, it's not that much easy, it's too much complex. So you know, like per day how many test cases you can automate? Per day just 1 or 2 test cases you can automate. If it is simple test cases, just 4 or 3 you can automate. But if it is little bit complex, means just 1 or 2 test cases you can automate. That much complex it is. Okay, so so you are having like 10,000 test cases. Okay, you have to automate 10,000 test cases per day. One test case means how many resources require? Okay, how much time it will take? It will be like too much complex, right? So that's why what you can do is, it's not advisable to go for like picking up all test cases for automation. Okay, meanwhile, see, okay, you are automating, but today most of the applications you are having like don't have stable functionality. Okay, so by the time you develop your automation scripts, you are getting change requests. So what you have to do? Again, you have to reinvest your efforts for updating the existing test scripts, right? So here you are putting your efforts for developing new test scripts, updating the existing test scripts, where you are really utilizing those test scripts, right? So by considering these factors and more factors also there, I will explain you those one later. So by considering all these factors, it's not advisable, and it's not, you cannot go for like 10,000 test cases to go for automation. What you will do is, you will pick up stable functionality related test cases. Some test cases, some modules will be having stable functionality, right? It will never get changed. Those test cases you will pick up and to go for automation. Okay, so let us suppose you are picked up 1,000 test cases to go for automation. Okay, 1,000 test cases from 10,000 test cases you will pick it up. So these are the some factors you will consider. Few more factors I will explain you later. As of now, you can remember this is the stuff. So 1,000 test cases you were picked up to go for automation. These 1,000 test cases, normally you have to come up with automation, means during starting days, how we were come up with like login is one test case, compose mail is some another test case, inbox another test case, like that. Verify successful login, verify compose mail, verify inbox, verify, like that. Login is one test case, remaining 999 test cases are related to like compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail. Okay, so this one you have to execute, means in Excel file I have shown, right? So first you will call login, then remaining 999 test cases you will call. Here my point is like 999 test cases depends on login. Okay, so during starting days of your automation, for login you will come up with one script, remaining 999 compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail, like the 999 test case you will come up with. In this manner you will call and you will put for execution and you go home. Okay, okay, but here dependency is there. While going home you put for execution. You put for execution. Okay, Due to some reason, let us assume sign in got failed. It's unable to log in into your application. Login test case got failed. Remaining 999 test case depends on login, right? So won't get executed, right? All those test cases gets failed. Okay. So if this is the case, means is it really meeting your automation expectations? Not, right? It's not meeting your automation expectations. Okay. So to overcome this, that means like if dependency is the case, you may come across this kind of problems. So you are coming up with automation means you have to make each and every test script independent. Okay. So that means for each and every test case you have to log in and log out independently. Okay. So due to some reason one test case got failed, at least it will fail the test case, other test cases gets executed, right? Okay. So like that 1000 test cases you have to make it independent. That means 1000 times you have to come up with code for login and you have to come up with code for logout. So login, how many steps you will come across? Navigate gmail.com, enter correct username, enter correct password, click on sign in button, verify home page. 5 steps. These 5 steps you have to come up with code in 1000 steps. Okay, exactly for logout. Okay, that is fine. You were generated 1000 scripts independently right now. Okay, you were recorded or something, you come up with code or something like that, you come up with. Now my situation is like, now for login you are having user interface like username, password, sign in button. Accordingly you come up with your automation scripts. After a few days, client come up with change request like instead of sign in button he want OK button, let us assume. Okay, then what you have to do? Again you have to go to 1000 scripts and you have to update your 1000 scripts. How much time it will take? Again it will take 3 to 4 weeks of time. Again it will take 3 to 4 weeks of time. If this is the case, is it really meeting your automation expectation? No, right? So instead of following this approach, what you can do is for login you can come up with one function. Okay, so these 5 steps like navigate gmail.com, enter correct username, enter correct password, click on sign in button. Okay, verify home page navigation. These 5 steps you can make one function. That function you can insert in 1000 scripts. Okay, so tomorrow any change request comes up, instead of sign in button they want OK button, let us assume. So what you can do? You can go to this function, within fraction of minutes you can update the code, it will get reflected to your 1000 scripts. How much easy it is? So this is nothing but like repeatable or reusability. In your automation front, this kind of framework you can consider as modular framework. Modular framework also you can consider like reusable framework. Okay, this is very high level how we will come up with. We will implement, at that time you will get very clear picture. So this is nothing but like reusability. Okay, this is nothing but like reusability. I said already, QTP provides just UI, it doesn't do anything. Each and everything you have to come up with. Okay, so normally any of the automation tool, if you go, every automation tool come up with like a recording feature. That is a basic concept, but you are coming these days nobody is going for like recording. Okay, but just for process related, normally basic operations you will take to record. The recorded script may not meet your automation expectations. Simply I have to say means, I could have told you like while generating framework, summary kind of report and in detail kind of report, how you are generating? Through XLS files or text files or XML files or HTML files. For coming up with this function, QTP doesn't have built-in feature. You have to come up with your own. That one with the help of VB script you have to come up with. Meanwhile, how you are passing data? You are passing input data through XLS, inputs.xls. Okay, so from there you have to pass data means you have to read data from XLS, right? Again, QTP doesn't have built-in feature. You have to come up with function, VB script function for that one. Meanwhile, which are the scripts you want to execute that one, you are passing night execution.xls. Okay, so those test scripts you have to launch, and you have to create like how much time is taking for each and every test script. Meanwhile, like you have to check whether flag is y or not. If flag is y, then only you have to execute that step. All these kind of validations, how you are coming up with? Again, you have to come up with like VBScript function. Okay, VBScript code. So this is nothing but like programmable. Okay, so that kind of that recorded script may not meet, or QTP built-in features may not meet your expectation. Automation 100% expectations. Okay, so you have to come up with your programming. So that is nothing but like programmable. That is nothing but like programmable. Manageable. Manageable is nothing but like once you come up with your automation framework, okay, you can execute that application, that framework in multiple environments and multiple releases. That means you are managing that framework across multiple environments and multiple releases, right? So that is nothing but like manageable. That means you are executing those automated test suite against multiple releases and multiple environments. Okay, so that is nothing but like manageable. But exactly manageable means this is very simple, but real meaning of manageable is nothing but like in your quality center you will come across one feature like business process testing. In business process testing, what is the thing is some different terminology you will come across. There you will get like automation expert and domain expert. Domain expert will be good in application domain knowledge. Okay, automation engineer is good in developing automation framework. Okay, so automation engineer, he will get domain knowledge from manual tester. That means like domain expert, he will come up with his automation framework, and this automation framework automation engineer develop and give it back to domain expert. Then domain expert will be using this framework for testing that application. Okay, so that is nothing but like business process testing. There normally once you come up with framework, that framework you can use for multiple projects. One example, through example I will explain you. If you go for like Gmail, which are the features you will come across? Login, compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail, logout. If you go for Yahoo Mail, again same features you come across, right? Login, compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail. Exactly Hotmail, exactly Rediff mail. Okay, here my point is like, even though all these applications having similar features, why I have to come up with 4 different frameworks? Why can't I come up with one framework that can handle all these 4 applications? If you come up one framework for handling this kind of multiple projects, that is nothing but like business process testing. Okay, that is nothing but like real meaning of like manageable. Okay, so one framework handles multiple projects. Okay, so in this scenario, is it really possible for yeah, that is what I am coming up with. So in this kind of situation, Gmail could have used some other technologies like Java, Yahoo Mail could have used HTML or something like that. So technology is getting vary. So really in this situation it may not possible, but where it will possible is like if you go for like telecom applications, they will use like mostly CRM applications you will come across, right? CRM applications are nothing but like customer relationship management applications. So any of the company, they have to grow their business means they have to maintain good relationship with their customers. Their CRM applications comes into picture. So CRM or ERP, enterprise resource planning applications. Okay, so those are nothing but like SAP, Oracle apps, Siebel. Okay, so normally for this Siebel originally developed by Siebel company, later taken over by Oracle. Okay, so any of the company have to go for like SAP or I mean like simply CRM applications means what they will do is these are products they will purchase from Oracle, and they will be really using 80% of the features, existing features, 20% they will be coming up with their own. Okay, they will customize according to their requirements. Here if you go for like this kind of situations, if you go for Tech Mahindra, most of the price they were having like civil applications. Okay, so technology is itself not varying, right? So very easily you can come up with like automation a BPT kind of framework in this kind of situation. Okay, so this is nothing but like management. Really people who are implementing these days. Okay, so this is nothing but like manageable. So manageable is nothing but like implementing common framework, handling multiple projects. So that is nothing but like manageable. Today, what are the features you are having in your application? You are coming up with like your automation in such a manner. But IT industry is not at all stable, right? Not at all, not at all static. Okay, so tomorrow, which kind of feature, which kind of enhancements you are coming up with for this application, you are not sure, right? So while implementing framework, you have to keep in mind like your framework can be optimizable in such a manner whenever your application is dynamically changing. Okay, so for your application, whenever dynamic changes are getting up, your automation framework also in such a manner should be optimizable. Okay, so that is nothing but like that is what you have to keep in mind, and you have to come up with framework in such a manner. This is nothing but like optimizable. Okay, so these all are the different advantages of your automation testing, along with very object properties you can validate very easily, images or bitmaps you can validate very easily, performance testing, stress testing, volume testing, load testing you can perform very easily. So these all are the advantages of your automation testing. These all are the advantages of your automation testing. Then we go for like disadvantages of your automation testing. Very expensive. There are two types of, you have to use QT passive test, means you have to purchase license from company. Okay, so there are two types of licenses: floating license, that means like concurrent license, or seat license, also you can consider as permanent license. Okay, okay, concurrent license is nothing but like user basis, 3 users or 4 users, 5 users, like that they will purchase and can use. Okay, so that is nothing but like permanent license, or that is not permanent license, that is concurrent license, also you can consider as floating license. Okay, so the cost of this license will be around 5 to 10 lakhs. Okay, so 5 to 10 lakhs per license. Okay, so that is nothing but like floating license. Like seat license means permanent license. Concurrent license per year basis, and per user basis. Permanent license means how many days you want you can use it up. Okay, so most permanent license will be in crores. Cost of permanent license will be in crores. So most of the clients, they can go for like purchasing what do you say, floating license. Okay, so here I'm saying like automation is very expensive. One automation license you are purchasing, let us assume one automation can handle 10 manual resources job, right? 10 manual resources job one automation tool itself can do. Here 10 manual resources company have to manage, let us assume on an average Indian rupees I'm talking about, 5 to 10 lakhs they should pay, right? Manual testers 5 to 10 lakhs, let us suppose 8 lakhs they are paying on an average per manual tester. Okay, so 8 into 10, 80 lakhs. Again for manual testers, other resources they have to provide like LAN computers, desktop laptops, something. That means like around 2 crores you are spending for manual testing. One automation engineer they are recruiting, so 10 lakhs they are paying, let us assume for automation 10 lakhs Indian rupees I am talking. Okay, so 10 lakhs they are paying, but one automation license 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. If company spend 20 lakhs, 10 manual resources it's able to handle, that means 2 crores. If you consider like this, is it really expensive automation? Not at all, right? If you treat like this, manual testing it's very expensive, but it's not the case for all the situations. Okay, so automation is very expensive for simple applications. Let us assume supermarket management system or hotel management system you are going for. That point of time, how many releases will, that is very simple application. So how many releases you can come up with? Just 1 or 2 releases, right? 6 months itself you can finish your project. That means 1 or 2 releases just. If it is 1 or 2 releases, then you don't want to go for automation, but that kind of situation. Okay, so these kinds of applications, if you think, automation is very expensive. But if you take like real applications like 3 years or 4 years, 5 years going on, for those kind of projects, if you go for means automation is very cheap. Okay, so very expensive is not applicable for all of the process. Very simple applications. Okay, so that is what you have to remember. So that is nothing but like very expensive, cannot automate 100% automation. 100% application. Okay, can you tell me any scenario like this feature you cannot automate? First you can go for like gaming application, games. Okay, games you cannot automate. That means like much human intervention required. Those kinds of applications you cannot automate. Okay, best example games. Except that, can you tell me any other applications you cannot automate? You can automate, right? What are the features you are having? Each and everything you can automate. It's not like you cannot automate 100%. Okay, if you want to automate 100% of the application, you can automate. But I said already, considering side factors like automation development is not that much easy. Per day 1 or 2 test cases you are going to automate. That means 10,000 test cases you have to automate, means how much time it will take? Meanwhile you are getting change requests by that time. Again you have to reinvest your efforts for updating the existing test scripts. So, and meanwhile today IT industry, if you take, most of the products having doesn't have stable features. Okay, so by considering all these factors, it's not advisable to go for like 100% automation. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, like if it is projects you cannot go for like 100% automation. If it is product you can go for like 100% automation. Some projects were there, I have worked for 2 projects, those projects were 100% automation. We come up with 100% automation for those steps, but those are products, not projects. Okay, 2 projects we were for that, those 2 projects we don't have like no manual testing team. No manual testing team. Okay, so pure automation, we were automated 100%. There we come up with like unattended kind of execution. We don't touch our automation execution. What we'll do is, whenever the changes comes up, we'll just update our scripts. We don't initiate for execution or something like that. It will take each and everything. So that is nothing but like cannot go for 100% automation. Okay, then time consuming. This one already I discussed. But don't think like manual testing also time consuming, but automation testing also time consuming. So why you want to go for automation? But for converting manual test cases to automation, it will be time consuming. Once you convert, execution will be very fast, right? Okay, yeah, once you convert, execution will be very fast. That is what you have to remember. Okay, so automation test script development is time consuming. Okay, so this is time consuming. Management of test scripts is a little bit difficult. If you are technically strong, see, automation maintenance is not that much easy. You will face so many issues, so many changes needs to be done once you come up with your automation framework. Why means developer may be changing the object properties or something. Okay, so automation framework management is not that much easy. If you are technically strong, then you can manage very easily. Okay, expertise resources required. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of your automation test. Okay, then how much big is your application, how much stable is your application. Okay, if your application is very simple application, you don't want to go for automation. Meanwhile your application is having 5 years, but every feature is going to change, every module is changing. Even that is the case also, is not advisable to go for automation. Okay, so at least some features, some modules you are having stable functionality, then you can go for automation. Okay, so these are nothing but like how much stable is your application, how much big is your application. Along with this one, advantages of your automation, right? Even those factors also you will consider to go for automation, like unattended execution, batch execution, fast, reliable, repeatable, programmable. All those one different factors you will consider to go for automation. Okay, so this is nothing but like we were seen like disadvantages of manual testing, advantages of automation testing, disadvantage of automation testing, factors to be considered to go for automation, and meanwhile we were discussing like other things like what is regression testing, what are different types of application, how differently you will test web based application when compared to client server application, what are the different types of applications. These are what we were discussing. Okay, any questions? Okay, then thanks for your time. Okay, tomorrow same time we can meet up. Okay, then fine, bye.